welcome to Ring Nation Radio. I'm here with the Bad Mama Jammer again, Chris Okoh. It's been a couple of weeks since I last saw you.
Yeah.
How have you been?
Yeah. Good, really good. Yesterday was quite a momentous day in terms of, or a sad day really. Yesterday I attended a funeral of a very well-known, very well-loved amateur boxer.
Tony Cesay.
Tony Cesay. Anyone within the amateur or boxing circuit will know exactly what I'm talking about. Just an inspirational guy. What hit me is that he passed away. He had basically about 18 months ago, he contracted motor neuron disease. And I remember seeing him at a show about a year ago at Crystal Palace show, and he didn't look 100%. And I said to someone who was with him, who I found out something was his carer. I said, "Oh, is Tony okay?" And she said, "Well, not really, Chris. He's been diagnosed with motor neuron disease, and obviously it just, over a period of time, it kind of gets worse as well. But sadly, he died, passed away about a week ago, I think 2 weeks ago. The service yesterday was amazing. People like, Tony inspired people like Anthony Yard, O'Hara Davis, and many other young people, and he used boxing as a way to connect with these young people. Certainly Anthony Yard and O'Hara Davis are two of his pupils, if you like, who have just benefited from his tutelage, if you like. Yesterday was a very moving day, but I'm glad I actually attended, and just such an amazing, soulful guy. He was a great dancer, a great dancer, a great boxer, former ABA champion. He boxed for Repton. The whole proceeding started out at the Repton gym. It's good going back there. The history in that club is just ridiculous. It's actually really, when you go walk in there,
Because he was such a joyful character.
Amazing.
Always smiling.
Just a happy soul, joyful. Really, the life and soul of the party. When Tony entered the room, he's one of these guys literally who could just light up the room. Just with his energy. And he inspired so many young people, so many people.
He was like a father figure to a lot of people.
Yeah, huge. Certainly, when you listen to the speeches that they gave, like Anthony Yard gave, O'Hara Davis, Wardley Harrison, he was there. Michael Lomax, Dave Walker. Dave Walker boxed. They boxed each other. Okay, in the ABAs. But this is so beautiful about this sport. The connection. It's crazy, the connection that you get. You saw it last week with Audley and Daniel. They knocked 7 bells out of each other, but after what's said and done, they hug each other, and that's boxing. But definitely with Tony, boxing's lost a genuine person, a beautiful person, a great boxer, a great man. He's an incredible, inspirational guy. I just wanted to just say, rest in peace, Tony. You'll be sorely missed.
Indeed, rest in peace. It was a really, really sad day yesterday, but I saw on social media the turnout he had.
Yeah.
And the service was incredible. He had a lot of people. It just shows you how loved he was by so many people. And his legacy will forever live on.
Oh, it could just live on. It just live on. He inspired so many people, he won't be forgotten. He'll never be forgotten.
He definitely won't be.
Yeah,
because he's had such an impact on the sport and everyone around it. And regardless of him just being known as a great amateur boxer and trainer. He was a great friend to so many people.
Yeah, he was,
He was an incredible individual.
Yeah.
And he will be missed.
Yeah, the crazy thing about it is like, up until fairly recently, I was doing matchmaking with him. He would call me, I'd call him. And one of my boxers boxed his boxer about, last year sometime. you know. But yeah, he was for the guys, for the boxers. He wanted the best out of the box, and it just, like I say, he used boxing as a tool to connect with these young people. You know, there was one young lady there. It was quite her epitaph that she gave, eulogy that she gave. It was amazing. It was really, really moving. Like literally, everyone. She actually broke down halfway through. But when you saw what he had done for her, you know, got her into boxing and whatever. But it was more than just the boxing as well. Yeah. You know, so yeah.
It's a tragic loss, but
yeah,
legacy will live on forever. Yeah. He will always be remembered for all the amazing things that he did for so many people.
So many people, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
definitely. So moving on from that, we've got to talk about what happened last Saturday in Manchester.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was there.
Yeah.
And
atmosphere good.
Atmosphere was
good.
Incredible. You know, whoever came up with the name "Don't Blink," they did a good job, because I remember everyone standing up and they're doing the announcements, and then I kind of thought to myself, well, it says "Don't blink," so I'm going to sit down, but I'm not going to take my eye off. And literally, as I sat down,
boom,
Daniel was on the floor.
Oh, Daniel's on the floor.
But there's so much to talk about with this fight, because so much is being made about what happened.
Before, during and after. What happened,
You know, there's so much before, during, and after, and a lot of people are still talking about this fight.
Yeah.
What was your reaction?
My take, first of all, I watched it at Box Park in Croydon with a few of my boxers. Great atmosphere, really, really good. You know, having a bite to eat and whatever. You know, I mean, I'm going to say this now. I mean, but my prediction was that Daniel would win. So Fabio Wardley, I've never met him, but he comes over as a decent guy, really cool, laid back, relaxed, very intelligent guy, you know, very articulate. He's great for boxing. His story is excellent, you know, where he came from to become world heavyweight champion, you know, given his background, his boxing background. You know, huge achievement. 10 out of 10 for Fabio. I've never met him. I'd love to meet him. Cool guy. But I mean, Daniel, I know Daniel quite well. Know his coach very well, Don Charles. I've been up to Don's gym several times. Isaac has sparred with Daniel several times.
Yeah, he sparred with him quite a lot last year, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, when Usyk fights over here. Isaac gets the call.
Yeah, Isaac is honestly. Yeah, quick shout out to Isaac Okoh. That is incredible. Do you know? When he turns professional, he's gonna be one to watch.
You know what? Sure. Like I say, I mean, it's very, very early days. You know, I just hope what I want to do is try and guide as his father. Try and guide him in the right direction. You know, we've got to do things right, do things in the right way. You know, but yeah, I mean the potential is there. Yeah, the potential is there. It's actually frightening. You know, even on my way here, I was talking to one of the coaches here, and we were talking about Isaac and what he was saying, potentially what he is out there, what potentially he's able to achieve or whatever. You know, so but we're going to take it one step at a time. Not rush things, you know. He's just come back from Poland. He's got another tournament coming in Eindhoven, Holland, week after next. So we'll just take it. Yeah, I just want him to get the experience, the amateur experience, and then build from there. Really.
The fact that he was sparring Dubois and he does it on a regular basis, kind of tells you how good he is.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, Don. Always will ring me up if he's boxing a southpaw. Okay, Isaac's going to get a call.
Isaac's the guy.
Isaac's the guy. I mean now Italma is mandatory for Daniel. So again, the fight at the weekend was so exciting
Oh, it's amazing.
because the whole, what could happen, the landscape of the heavyweight division now is being shaped. What's going to happen now? Because obviously Atalma is the mandatory now for Daniel
For the WBO.
with the WBO. Will that happen? We don't know.
I honestly think that fight over the weekend could possibly be the best fight that I've ever watched live.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, like I said, we watched it. I watched it at Box Park.
It was just non-stop.
It was non-stop.
Throughout.
It was non-stop. I'm going to be really critical here, a little bit critical. I think there's two ways of looking at that fight. From the wider audience, Joe Public's perspective, or the casual boxing fan, brilliant. 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10 even. It delivered in every way. You were there.
Yeah.
I saw the atmosphere, it just back and forth, and then obviously, Daniel, within the first 30 seconds, Daniel's on the floor. The first round, Daniel's on the floor, and then he gets up and just
adjusted really well.
Yeah. And what I liked, what Daniel did in the interviews afterwards, he said, I was a bit nervy, a bit jumpy, hence I think I would have contributed to the knockdown.
Yeah.
But for him to say that, to have the guts to say that, 10 out of 10 for him. And you know what? He pulled it around.
Yeah, and there's no shame in feeling nervous, regardless
Of course.
if you're an amateur or beginner.
Whatever,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
At all levels. Even myself, when I had my first white collar, I was so nervous.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely okay. So any boxer that is watching this, from amateur
100%
to professional, there's nothing wrong with being a bit nervous. It's all part of the game.
Yeah, I think people that have not have stepped in the ring. Okay, it might be difficult to understand. Every boxer, as you just said, amateur, professional, novice, elite level. Okay, every boxer gets nervous to some degree or another. I used to suffer with nerves. It's how you deal with those nerves, how you're able to control those nerves. So for Daniel to say, look, I was, and it made sense. It was a flash knockdown. But to Daniel's credit, he got it together. Big stage, got it together, got his composure, and look what happened.
Yeah, and he was being considered the underdog in this fight. So coming through so much adversity during the fight, getting up from 2 knockdowns and adjusting to get the win. Like Don Charles has said throughout this week, his heart can never be questioned ever again.
I totally agree with what Don was saying, and I could hear the anger, the frustration in Don's voice, because I never aligned myself to, Daniel's a quitter. No. I mean, the fight with Joe Joyce, this is where this whole quitting nonsense really came from. His eye was seriously damaged.
Yeah.
If you're fighting with one eye, you can't continue.
I mean, we saw Zurdo Ramirez against Benavidez, and Zurdo had a broken eye socket and he took a knee. It doesn't make him a quitter.
It doesn't make
saving yourself for another day.
Exactly. Your eyesight is it's very important for anyone. So this whole quit thing I never went with. And again, I know Daniel as a boxer on a personal level. He's not a quitter, but I think really, and what Don got over is that Daniel's not a quitter. He's not a quitter. Anyone who gets in the ring, okay, is not a quitter in the context of what they're doing.
Yeah.
But Daniel proved it on Saturday night. What I liked and what I liked for me, what he saw, the knockdown in the 3rd round. He's hit him with a right cross, and he visibly wobbled, but he got down. He went down on one knee and took the count,
which was really smart thing to do.
What that is experience. What that is experience. He took the count. You can see that it was okay, and he got up. And really, from that point onwards, it was all Daniel.
Yeah.
Fabio was trying. You know, if I'm being honest, and again, it's easy to be wise after the event, but there's some, from a technical point of view, perspective, there's deficiencies. I think that's the best way of putting it. There's deficiencies with Fabio's makeup.
Yeah.
That's what I see, and Daniel was able to exploit those deficiencies.
Yeah, I agree, because you could see how Daniel had adjusted, was coming from Wardley, feinting with the left and then throwing one jab and then throwing that massive right hand. I think
this is
it
what
wasn't
I mean,
hard to
work out. You know, it was you know, because again, what Fabio. Again, I need to be really, you know, diplomatic in how, you know, word it. I like Fabio, okay, but like I say, when for me, he showed his relative inexperience at that level, because when that knockdown was a flash knockdown, and if you look at it, if you go back and look what he wasn't actually looking at the target. He just threw the 1-2, caught Daniel on top of the head, and Daniel went down. You know, and then but you could clear what he should have seen. What Fabio, as the fighter, should have seen is that he wasn't hurt. He wasn't seriously hurt. When he got up quite quickly. He was very coherent. His legs weren't shaking or wobbling. That tells you he's okay. It's a flash knockdown. But in Fabio's perspective, he's like, oh, I want to. That was the mistake he made. I want to knock him out now. He was telegraphing that right hand. He really was.
Watching it back, if I was Wardley, I'd be looking at it thinking, should have jumped on him a bit more after probably the second knockdown, because I don't think Wardley actually really went for it in the third round. I think every time Daniel threw the jab, and his jab was so sharp, and it always has been. But I think every time that jab landed, it was doing severe damage, and that's been a big talking point about this fight.
Yeah,
because Daniel was, I think we saw, not in a disrespectful way, but we did see levels in terms of boxing ability.
I agree.
At times, well, probably from round 7 onwards, as much as I enjoyed the fight from start to end, and I think I speak for a lot of people, it did start to become quite uncomfortable to watch.
Yes, yeah.
And it was worrying at times, because I watched it back on Monday night, and from what I'm hearing on commentary, I was saying the same thing. They need to stop it, because it was quite scary to watch at times.
Yeah.
I know Wardley's got this. He's got this kind of drive and motivation, and he's got that massive equalizer of knocking people out when it's not in his favor.
Yeah.
But we've seen this before with fighters like Joe Joyce.
Yeah.
Where the absolute tank, you know, granite
tremendous
chin.
Heart. Yeah.
Got so much heart, and no one can question Wardley's heart.
No.
You know, he's got probably I think probably the biggest heart in boxing in terms of just trying and trying. You know, I don't think I see anyone else doing that.
Yeah. I fully agree with what you said, and again, you know, tremendous heart, but there's deficiencies, and for me, I'm talking from a coach's point of view now. Okay, there's deficiencies. Okay, visible. Okay. You know, Daniel was jabbing, okay? He didn't know how to negate that jab, to take away the jab.
Yeah.
Hence why his face, it was a mess after you know, 5 or 6 rounds. You know, that needs to be addressed. You know, Daniel could have taken out Fabio in the 6th round. It was only about 2 shots away from taking him out, from what I was seeing. And the reason why he didn't take him out is because he was so hell-bent on knocking Fabio out. Yeah. Whereas if he had taken a more, you know, relaxed approach, i.e. box him, break him down for the first 2, 3, 4 rounds,
Yeah.
okay, behind the jab, okay, but he was so intent and hell-bent, you know, he fought like a man possessed, Daniel.
Yeah.
You know, and I agree with you. It was difficult to watch. I mean, because Daniel is a very people don't realize how hard Daniel hits. You know, he reminds me of Sonny Liston. He's that raw brute power. You know, the jab. It's not particularly fast. The jab is not particularly fast, but it's heavy, and his right hand is like a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how Sonny Liston used to hit guys, his opponents. You know, and Daniel was quite reminiscent of Liston in that way. You know, and there was times where he took, like you say, he took Daniel's shots full on the chin. You know, I mean, again, I'm not his coach, I'm not his management team, but certainly if he was my fighter, what I would advise now is for him to just rest, take a good 3 months of just complete rest. Don't go chasing the rematch. Yeah, okay. I personally, again, if I was his manager, his coach, this is the advice I would be giving him.
Yeah.
You know, I heard Frank Warren say, you know, there's a rematch clause in the contract. Yeah, from Frank's point of view, he wants the rematch. Yeah, okay. Is the rematch good for Fabio right now? I don't know. That's not a route I would take. You know, if I was managing him or coaching him.
Yeah.
You know, certainly, you know, he needs to have, like I said, because it's going to take him at least easily for his body to recover properly, 4 to 6 months for his body to recover properly from that. You know?
Yeah. It's just scary because I think we saw how much damage and how many punches Joe Joyce was able to absorb until he fought Zhang.
Yeah.
And when he fought Zhang, I think even before Zhang, you could kind of see the deterioration there.
Well, what happens? Yeah, exactly. What happens is that your punch resistance goes.
Just goes.
It goes. You know, and again, youth plays a big factor. You know, Fabio. You know, he's still a young, 31, 32 years old.
Yeah.
You know, he's a young man. You know, so obviously he's young. So yes, at the moment he can take those type of shots. But if he keeps on eating those shots over and over again, your punch resistance will go.
I think that's my fear for him, is that this fight he sustained so much damage.
Well, I mean, everyone, you know, or the experts, if you like, you know, I watched an interview that Barry McGuigan gave, and Barry McGuigan is someone who I remember watching. You know, he was a big inspiration. So someone like Barry McGuigan, okay, I listened to someone like Barry McGuigan, you know, and he's saying a similar sort of thing. You know, Spencer Fearon, who I've known for years. Spencer's a good friend of mine. We boxed together at the Lynn. You know, Spencer did an interview, and he got quite animated. And you know, in terms of what was being said,
it was quite powerful what he said.
It was very powerful what he said. Yeah.
And I can't really disagree with
what
he said.
I can't disagree with what he said. I can't disagree with what he said. But you could see when Spencer was talking, he was the most important thing is the fighter.
Yeah.
The fighter's health, the fighter's health and safety, amateur or pro.
Yeah.
You know, and you know that's why it got difficult for someone like myself or you, okay, or Barry McGuigan or Spencer to watch.
Yeah.
You know, you want your guy to win or the guy to, but you know, I mean that was really, he would again, you know, Fabio's going to need at least 4 to 6 months for his body to recover from that.
You have to commend him for going as much as and you know he didn't go down, which I actually can't believe.
Yeah.
Because I was you know, I was sitting there and I was getting really worried for him, and a lot has been made about not stopping it earlier because I thought it should have been stopped around about round 8.
The flip side of the coin you've got, okay, the flip side of the coin you got from his coach's perspective. I wasn't there. I'm watching it on TV, okay, so I can't see everything, you know. But the coach's primarily main objective is the safety of the fighter.
Yeah.
You know, at the same time, This is what his coach was confronting with. He's in the moment. He's right in the moment. Okay, his guy's the champion. Okay, he's getting hit. The fight was seesawing, back and forth, back and forth. Fabio took some heavy shots. When is the right time to throw the towel in, or when is the right time to surrender? He's the champion. That's. But again, the person who knows the fighter best is the coach. So the coach has to make the call. So we could go. We could argue that it could have been stopped. Okay, but we don't know the fighter as the coach knows the fighter. And Fabio, and also to Fabio's credit, in the past he has pulled it. He has come from behind and won.
Yeah.
Certainly in the Hooney fight he did that, and with the Parker fight he was behind. I watched both those fights. He was behind, so he has a habit, or a tendency to fall behind on points, but then in the latter rounds, come back, rejuvenate himself and pull it out.
And I think that's why Fabio he's an exceptional fighter. He's exciting to watch.
From certainly
in terms of having heart,
yes,
you cannot deny him of that.
Yeah.
It's just me personally, and I'm sure you think the same thing, is that can't keep having these fights like this, especially this one where it took so much out of him.
Yeah.
I wish him a speedy recovery because he needs it.
Yeah, he right now he just needs to rest. He just needs to rest his body, not even think about going into the gym, go out, have a little bit of fun, enjoy his family, his partner, whatever, and just not think about boxing for the time. That was a hard fight. I mean, I heard him talk about rematch. But again, if I'm being honest, and I don't want to be derogatory, that's his ego talking.
Yeah.
Okay, that's his ego. I remember when I lost my Commonwealth title to Darren Corbett, he stopped me in the third round, and I wanted a rematch. Immediately wanted a rematch, but the boxer's going to say that. Yeah. It's for the people around him, i.e. his coach, the manager, to say, listen, let's slow down a bit. Let's slow down and let's rethink this and look ahead at what we can do, moving forward. Is the rematch the best option? It might be, it might not be.
Yeah.
But those sort of things need to be taken into question, because if he jumps into a rematch, and at the moment, I think Daniel will beat him again and quicker if they exercise the rematch clause, So, I mean, I think Joshua, going back to someone who I absolutely respect and love and has done great for the sport of boxing, is Anthony Joshua. The best thing he did was not take the rematch with Daniel. That's the best thing that he did.
But I've heard that he actually wants to have a rematch with Daniel.
Yes,
because he's looking at who's got the belt.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. But the point I'm making is it wasn't an immediate rematch. And that was the right thing for Anthony and Eddie not to do. There's a time and a place. Again, I thought Anthony would win that, and I say that knowing Don Charles and knowing Daniel. But I'm being honest. I'm just trying to be professional. I thought that AJ would win that. But again, to Daniel's credit, he pulled it out of the bag. But again, the best thing that Anthony did was not take that rematch. And certainly as a comparison, Fabio needs to look at that. Just put the ego to one side and have a think. Maybe it might be, I would probably get him a few, for want of a better word, softer fights to ease him back in, because there's a lot there to be done. There's a lot of mistakes, deficiencies that need to be corrected. And that may take some time. I mean, but for now, 4 to 6 months off, no boxing.
For Dubois, if it's not Wardley next, who would you like to see Dubois face? Very good question.
Obviously, this is where it gets so, for me, the heavyweight landscape is quite exciting. You know, I love the heavyweights. I mean, I absolutely love the heavyweight. That's the division I really look out for.
Yeah.
And that fight as well is going to add to that landscape. But right now, obviously, Italma is mandatory with the WBO.
Yeah.
So the WBO could order Daniel to fight Italma.
Yeah. Because I think they've said Moses won't be Daniel's next opponent.
No, he's got a fight lined up, hasn't he?
8th of August in London at the O2, but they haven't
named the opponent.
But I think they have said it's not going to be Daniel.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Who knows who Daniel could be in the ring with next?
I mean, he's put himself right back in the mix. He's right there. A third fight of Usyk, I don't know. Does it warrant it? I don't know. Rematch with Joshua. Obviously, Tyson Fury's on his way back now. It's very exciting. But Daniel has got a number of options. He's one of the main players now, once again, and two-time heavyweight champion.
Well, it's sort of 3-time, really.
3 times, yeah, with the WBA,
the regular,
yeah. I'm happy. I'm so happy for Daniel, and I'm happy for Don.
Yeah.
Because it's been certainly for Don, it's been a long, hard road, but now he's reaping the benefits of the seeds that he's sown. I'm probably going to speak to him tonight.
Yeah. Don's corner work and advice that night was absolutely fantastic, and it's the reason why Daniel was able to. Well,
there's
two slaps. The 2 slaps.
Don exactly. Don's an experienced coach.
Yeah.
Don's a very, very experienced coach. He knows what to do. He knows what to say at the right time, and it's about knowing your fighter. Again, Spencer mentioned it. Okay, with Don, and again, I know Don. I've known Don for many, 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 many years. Yeah. He loves his fighters. He loves his fighters, and he wants the best for them. He wants to keep them safe. He wants the best for them, and you can hear the emotion in Don's voice when he talks. The whole slap thing. He's equally as emotionally involved as Daniel is, and I think Don's contribution got Daniel through that fight.
100%.
So all I can say once again is well done to Daniel and to Don, and long may it continue.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Chris, thanks for your time.
No
as
problem.
Always.
Anytime.
We'll touch base again maybe after this weekend, because we've got another big couple of weeks of boxing, so we'll definitely be sure to catch up.
Yeah, good, brilliant.
Thank you so much. And
Thanks,
I'll see you in about a couple of weeks.
Look forward to it.
Take care, Chris.
All right.
Thank you.